It's Wednesday, and I have something I need to say. Particularly to those people who say so proudly, I voted for this. If you have the cojones to stay around for this video and listen to what I have to say, because you voted for this, remember? And you're proud you voted for this. I'll give you a little backstory on me so you can understand better where I am coming from while I'm speaking to you today. I came from a family that was very poor, generational poverty. I had a mother who had a mental illness, and we didn't have health insurance. And back then, in the late 80s, early 90s, there wasn't access to mental health care like there is today. And there's not really good access to mental health care today. We can all agree on that, right? Growing up in my home with an abusive parent who was mentally ill, I had PTSD from that, from the abuse of living with somebody who was mentally unstable. But still, somehow I managed to be a straight A student in school. I was on a fast track to not just make it through high school and graduate with honors, but have scholarships lined up for me to change the curse of generational poverty in my family. I wanted to go into law, to fight for abused children, to fight for people who were struggling under a system that was not built for them. One night, my mother had an episode, an extremely violent episode. When she would have these episodes, the safest thing for me to do would be to leave the home. I had a friend that lived about 4 miles away from me, and I would always walk to their house and stay the night until my mother had calmed down, got some sleep, and back in her right mind again. This particular night, she was very violent. I left out of the home, and it was raining. It was raining so hard. It was like the heavens had opened up to release a flood. And I was walking. The car pulled up to offer me a ride. This had happened many times before. I never got in the car with anybody, but it was pouring down rain. It was pouring down rain. These two individuals were well-dressed. They looked well-to-do. They explained to me that they were part of a church. They ran a youth group. Their children, they had children of their own, they said, that were currently off traveling around the globe to help other unfortunate children. You know, missionary work. They said that they would give me a hot meal, call my mother, call my friend's mother, make sure I had a place to stay for the night that was safe. I got in the car. That was the last thing I remembered until I woke up chained up in a basement. We still to this day don't know how long I was in that basement before I got free. We still to this day don't know how I got free. I don't remember. My mind broke so severely that I didn't know who I was when people found me naked and bleeding and bloody on the side of the road. I couldn't even remember my own name or where I came from. But I escaped a child sex trafficking ring. To this day, I still don't know how. I guess because I was lucky. I spent the next year in and out of mental institutions and child detention centers. My future was gone. I couldn't focus in school anymore. I could barely read a paragraph and remember it. My future was over. So when I tell you, I know exactly what these children that are being kidnapped by our government are about to go through, I know. You say this is what you voted for, but what you think you voted for, what you're so proud to say you voted for is this. This is who you expected ICE to get off the streets. This is who you expected ICE to get off the streets. This is who they told you they were taking off the streets. But this is what's really happening. This is what's really going to happen to the children that they've taken off the streets. The children that they went into schools to get. You know, these hardened criminals. ICE admits itself it has picked up over 500 children. That's something that they admit themselves. Now they've taken upon themselves to go into foster care and remove undocumented children. Where do you think these children are going to go? Where do you think children with no family and no home are going to end up when we deport them to God knows where? When we rip them out of a foster home, where do you think they're going? They're going to end up in the back of trucks, being shipped here, there, and everywhere. You are effectively saying with your full chest, with so much pride, that you are voting to put children into slavery. The thing of nightmares, the kind of nightmares I had all night last night, the kind of nightmares I have every other night, the kind of nightmares that ruined my life, the kind of nightmares you couldn't even fathom. But you don't care about that. Because in your mind, the lie that they sold to you, they rounded up a bunch of men that had tattoos on them, paraded them in front of cameras, shaved their heads and put them behind bars, and you just ate it up and believed it because that's what you voted for. And a lot of you claim to be Christians, and you say you sleep fine at night because you are doing what is right. So when you go to your church and you get under your steeple and you fall to your knees to pray for the safety of children today, just know the best prayer, the best and the only prayer you can say at this point is to pray for a swift death for these children. That's what you're praying for now. A swift death. That's the only thing left to save them at this point is a swift death. They will effectively be sold into child slavery. But this is what you voted for. So you remember tonight, with all your pride, when you lay your head in your bed, you make sure to pray for those babies' swift death today. Because to survive the future that you have effectively sent them to is so much worse than death. There's no way to twist this to fit some narrative that makes you feel better. You can digest all the propaganda you want to, but this is the truth. This is the truth. Shame on you is not enough of a word to express how with my whole fucking chest I hope you reap every fucking thing you have sown. I hope you never have a peaceful night of sleep again in your life. And one day when your children are grown, we will make it known just what you did. Just what you did!